My name is Nur Ansha Shafika binti Adi. My metric number is A24A3187. Now I will answer the case study 1. For the first question, scarcity refers to a situation where resources are limited, while human wants are unlimited. This means people cannot satisfy all their needs and wants at the same time because has insufficient income. Choice means selecting one option from several alternatives because research are limited. Opportunity cost is the benefit of the other alternative that must be given up when one of the option is made. The second question is the scarcity problem faced by this family is they have limited income. The family income earns not enough to support the schooling expenses of all 6 children because the money earned is only enough to use for the necessity. Next, for the choice that they have is to drop 2 of their children from the school so that the other 4 children could continue their education. If their financial situation becomes worse, the other 4 children may also have to stop schooling, as the father worry that his income will not be able to support their daily needs. The opportunity cost from this decision is the educational benefits that should have been received by his 2 children who stopped schooling had to release. They lost the chance to receive a formal education and take important examination like SPM. This will cause their job opportunity is limited in the future. For the final question, the answer is no. Scarcity still exists even though the family receives assistance. This is because scarcity still exists when the income are still limited, while the family needs and wants never stop. The monthly allowance received can help family to covering some school expenses such as pocket money and school equipment. However, the allowance is still not enough to meet all the family needs. This because their income still limited, so they must make a choice about how to use the income. The donated textbook and school uniform also help reduce education costs, but the family still needs to pay for other needs expenses like their children's daily needs and healthcare. In conclusion, the allowance and other assistance do not eliminate scarcity, but it helps ease the family financial burden.
My name is Nur Nabila Ayubi Norizan. My metric number is A24A3138. Today I will be present case study number 2. Based on question number 1, the answer is the Ministry of Health proposed a minimum price for cigarette because price competition among tobacco company has made cigarette cheaper even though tobacco tax are higher. Manufacture lower price to attract customers, especially young people. By setting a minimum price, the government aims to reduce cigarette demand, as higher price make smoking less available and encourage people to smoke less or quit. Next, question number 2, I will explain the effect of an increase in tax on the price and quantity of cigarette when demand is constant. First, we assume that the demand for cigarette remains constant. This means consumer preferences do not change, so the demand curve stays the same. When the government increases the tax on cigarette, the cost of producing cigarette increase. As a result, producers are less willing to supply cigarette at each price level. This causes the supply curve to shift leftward from S1 to S2. Because of this shift, the market reaches a new equilibrium. The equilibrium price increase while the equilibrium quantity decrease. So, for the conclusion, an increase in cigarette tax led to higher cigarette price and less cigarettes sold in the market. Based on question number 3, the answer is, besides imposing a minimum price, the government has introduced other measures to discourage smoking. First, all tobacco companies are required to register with the ministry so their manufacturing activity can be monitored and regulated according to health and safety standards. Second, cigarette packaging must display graphic warning image that show the harmful effects of smoking. These images are changed regularly to ensure the health message remain effective and discourage smokers from buying cigarettes.
Based on the study of Ministry of Health, the increase in the number of smokers, especially among women, lead to an increase in the demand for cartridge. This caused the demand curve to shift to the right from D1 to D2. At every price level, consumers are willing to buy more cartridge, creating upward pressure on both price and quantity. At the same time, an increase in tax rise the cost of production for cartridge producer. As a result, producer reduce output, see lower profitability, and the supply curve shift to the left from S1 to S2. When both factors together, the market price will definitely increase because higher demand and lower supply both push price upward from P1 to P2. However, the effect on quantity is uncertain, since increased demand rise quantity while reduced supply lower it.
Hi, my name is Sweta Naprabakandasamy. My matrix number is A24A3184. I am in charge of answering the case study number 3. So, for the first question, I will explain the impact of heavy rain on the market for long beans using demand and supplies analysis. So, before the heavy rain, the market was in equilibrium at price PO and quantity QO, where the original supply curve SO intersects the demand curve DO. At this point, the quantity supplied by farmers exactly matched the quantity demanded by consumer, so the market was balanced. Then heavy rain damaged the long beans, reducing to the total supply available for sale. This is represented by a leftward shift of supply curve from SO to S1. The demand curve DO remains unchanged because consumers still wants to buy the same quantity at each price. As a result, a new equilibrium occurs at E1 where the new supply curve S1 intersect with the demand curve DO. At this point, the equilibrium price rises from PO to P1 and the equilibrium quantity decreases from QO to Q1. This demonstrates the law of supply and demand. When supply decreases while demand remains constant, prices increases and quantity decreases. It also shows how natural events like heavy rain can disrupt market equilibrium and create a shortage in the market.
When a price ceiling is set below the equilibrium price, it disrupts the normal market mechanism. At the lower controlled price, quantity demand increase because consumers are willing to buy more at the cheaper price. However, quantity supply decrease since producers earn lower profit and may reduce output. This situation creates a market shortage when quantity demand exceeds quantity supply. As a result, not all consumers are able to purchase the product. In a long run, price ceiling may lead to reduced product quality, black market, and inefficient allocation of resources. As sellers try to bypass price control, therefore, while price ceiling aim to protect consumers, they can unintentionally cause supply shortage if not properly.
What happened in the long bean market when the government imposed a ceiling price of RM6.50 per kilogram? Before the price ceiling, the market operates at equilibrium at E, where the supply curve SO intersects the demand curve DO. The equilibrium price is PO and the equilibrium quantity is QO, meaning the quantity demanded equals the quantity supplied. After the government sets the ceiling price, the maximum price seller can charge is PC, which is equal the below equilibrium price PO. At this lower price, the quantity demanded increases because the good is cheaper, while the quantity supply decreases because producer earns less profit than usual. This creates a shortage in the market where quantity demanded QD exceeds quantity supply QS. In the microeconomics, this is a classical example of binding price ceiling. which protects the consumer by keeping price low but can lead them to market insufficient, like shortage. The price ceiling ensures affordability for consumer but also illustrate how government intervention can disrupt natural market equilibrium. The consequences of price ceiling using long beans as an example. When the government sets a price ceiling below the market equilibrium, it aims to keep prices affordable. But it also creates several issues in the market. First, shortages. Lower prices increase demand because more consumer wants to buy long beans, while producers supply less due to the profit that they earn is lesser. So this mismatch creates a shortages, so not all consumers can obtain the product. Second is black markets. Shortages can encourage illegal sales where sellers bypass the ceiling price and charge higher prices. For example, in Singapore, long beans are sometimes sold at double or triple than the legal price. Third, reduced supply by over the time. Less profit may supply fewer goods or switch to more profitable crops. This long-term reduction worsens shortages and can affect future availability. Fourth is social disorder. Low prices can lead to panic buying or hoarding among some consumers. This creates long queues and tension between the society. A binding price ceiling benefits some consumers by lowering prices, but it also creates market shortages and social challenges.
In my view, the decision by the local government to give 2 million to each of the 30 municipal council for the festive decorative lighting is excessive and economically inefficient. While the aim is to attract tourists, such lighting provide only short-term benefit and little lasting value for the public. From a public finance perspective, taxpayer money carry an opportunity cost, and it should be directed to a project that generate long-term social and economic return. For example, cleaner public toilet and better transportation system will directly enhance the experience of both tourists and residents. Even more, the fund could support essential public facility like healthcare center, mosque and fitness center, which provide continuous benefit to the community. In short, spending so heavily and temporarily decorative reflect a misallocation of resources. It's failed to maximize public welfare and long-term economic value, showing poor efficient in the use of public fund.
Hi, I am Alisofi Binti Hassan, number matric 8248362, and I will discuss about case study 4. For question 2, I will explain the concept of scarcity, choice, and opportunity cost in this case. In this case, the government faces scarcity, which means it has limited financial resources. Even though the government collects tax, the budget is still limited and cannot be used to fund all the development projects at the same time. Because of this scarcity, the government must make a choice. In this situation, the government chose to spend 60 million on decorative items and lighting during festive season in order to attract tourists. However, every choice involves an opportunity cost. The opportunity cost of this decision is the benefit that are foregone from alternative use of the 60 million. This includes improving pedestrian walkways, building more healthcare centers, providing cleaner public toilet, and improving the public transportation system. This alternative could have provided greater long-term benefit to the public. Next, for the basic economy problems. There are 3 basic economy problems. The first is what to produce. The government must decide whether to spend money on decorative, lighting, or essential public service that benefit the people directly. The second is how to produce. This refers to choosing the most efficient way to use limited resources in order to avoid waste. The third is for whom to produce. This means deciding which group in society will benefit from government spending. This basic economy problem exists because resources are limited, while human wants are unlimited. Therefore, the government must allocate its resources carefully to achieve maximum benefit for society. Finally, I will discuss whether goods such as water and air are scarce or abundant. At first glance, water and air appear to be abundant. However, in reality, they can be considered scarce economy goods. For example, clean drinking water is limited and required treatment, filtration, and distribution, which involves cost. Similarly, clean air is limited in urban and industrial areas due to pollution. Maintaining clean air requires government policy and technology, which also involve cost. Therefore, water and air are considered scarce goods because they require resource, effort, and opportunity cost to make them available and safe for consumption.